Welcome in to a new week of Bruce Hooley shows here on 98.9 The Answer. Lots of stuff going on, and it is not often. I can't even remember the last time we spent as much time as we're going to spend today talking about something that happened a few minutes after I got off the air at 1 o'clock on Friday. But yes, we're going to tear deeply into the Trump-Zelenskyy meeting because I think it's important that you understand it from beginning to end, how it transpired and what narratives are out there that are absolutely, totally incorrect. And the video and the audio from it are going to prove that. We've got a lot of other things going on. The CEO at Kroger, a gentleman by the name of Rodney McMullen, although he may not be a gentleman, is out as the CEO of Kroger. Kroger says his conduct was, quote, unrelated to the business and was inconsistent with Kroger's policy on business ethics. He was let go after a board investigation of his personal conduct. So we'll keep our eye on that. Very sad to report that we have a young child under the age of 10 in North Linden who is fighting for his life in a hospital after being attacked by two dogs on Sunday. We had I don't talk sports on this show very often. Most of you know that my previous professional career was mostly in sports, but I watched every minute of that NHL Stadium series on Saturday night at Ohio Stadium, and it was a phenomenal show. It's very seldom that the product lives up to the hype, but it did. Great game, great atmosphere, great reason embraced by both teams to celebrate the life of the late Johnny Gaudreau. And his wife was on with ESPN during one of the breaks. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And another sports story that is getting national publicity, and it's a live wire story that may break on our time today. I've seen a lot of college basketball, a lot of high school basketball. Not since Minnesota's fans and players attacked Ohio State's players when I was a little kid, barely old enough to remember, in 1971, have I ever seen anything as ugly as what happened at the Fairgrounds Coliseum on Saturday when a Reynoldsburg player, without any apparent provocation, and there is no provocation that justifies what this Reynoldsburg player did, punched in the middle of the floor with no other players around a Hilliard Bradley player in the groin, in full view of everyone at the game officials, both benches. And no, he was not ejected. But he may receive stringent discipline today. If not from Reynoldsburg High School, then you got a real problem at Reynoldsburg High School, I might add. I'm told he was put back in the game by the coach. If that's true, that's inexcusable. If that's true, the coach should get whatever discipline the player gets. And the player should get suspension for the rest of this tournament and maybe half or all of next season. Because the OHSAA treats everyone who attends a tournament game to a long, prolonged announcement about sportsmanship. And that was an assault. That was a criminal assault on a player from Hilliard Bradley. Inexcusable. So we've got all that. But let's start with the reason why we're starting with Trump-Zelenskyy is because this was unprecedented. We've never seen world leaders on live television argue with each other and Trump go from smiling, cordial, joking around, saying kind things about Volodymyr Zelenskyy, the leader of Ukraine, to running hot and throwing Zelenskyy out of the White House, canceling the lunch they had scheduled. In the span of the whole conversation was 49 minutes. It really went bad the last like 10 minutes. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to play the point where it went bad. This is where it turns bad. To preface it, Zelensky's at the White House on Friday to sign the rare earth minerals deal with the United States, which Trump views as essential to getting Vladimir Putin to the table for a peace deal in Ukraine. Trump's reasoning is, if the United States is in business with Ukraine, Vladimir Putin is going to be disincentivized to bomb Ukraine, because the last thing Vladimir Putin wants to do is bomb U.S. civilians who are mining in Ukraine. We tend to take, now that Donald Trump's in the White House, not with Biden so much, because look at how many American hostages were taken in Gaza, we tend to take a very dim view of American citizens killed by foreign adversaries. And Vladimir Putin knows that. And Hamas is finding that out. So Zelenskyy wouldn't have it. Here's the thing. Zelenskyy hates Putin. I understand why Zelenskyy hates Putin. Putin has been making overtures into Ukraine since, like, I don't know, 2009, 2014, doesn't matter. Long time. More than 10 years. So I get it, why Zelenskyy hates Putin. But here's what Zelenskyy doesn't get. Ukraine is not winning a war with Russia. They're not. They're not winning a war with Russia because Ukraine does not have nuclear weapons. And Russia has more of them than anyone in the world. Okay? They just do. Vladimir Putin is a desperate dictator who is not shy if he's pushed into a corner where the only way he can win a war is to drop a nuclear weapon. He will do it, which of course would precipitate, quite likely, World War III and nuclear annihilation. Donald Trump would like to avoid that. Call him crazy. The Democrats are calling him crazy. He would like to avoid that. So Zelenskyy hates Putin. But Donald Trump can't come out and say the same things about Putin that Zelenskyy says about Putin, or what would be Putin's incentive to come to the table? Have you watched Donald Trump negotiate? Donald Trump says incredibly insane, inaccurate things as a form of flattery. He did it with Kim Jong-un. He's done it with others to get them to the table. Donald Trump is about the end game. How he gets there may offend you, but you have to overlook it in order to realize what he's focused on. You're focused on his words right now in the moment. He's focused on a peace deal. All right? So this is where it goes bad. Now, you got to remember, before this happened, what I'm going to play for you, one of the media members there, and this was a stupid move by Zelenskyy, he shows up at the White House not in a suit. I said Friday, what is wrong with this guy? Does he not own a suit? Trump is a suit guy. Trump is respect the office guy. Trump is, if you come and sit with me, you're coming to sit with the king, okay? The president of the United States, the leader of the free world, the commander-in-chief, the guy who controls the purse strings to Ukrainian aid. Show some respect. Show some respect. Zelenskyy doesn't, and a guy asked him about it, and Zelenskyy's like, blows the question off. Trump, a couple of minutes later, and this is where the thing starts to go bad, but you tell me, is Trump mad here when he's joking about liking Zelenskyy and liking Zelenskyy's clothes? He's not running hot yet, but he gets hot when Zelenskyy blows it.
Please.
And I do like your clothing, though.
Yeah, really?
Even though I think he's a great guy, by the way. But I don't know if you two like each other. But you know what?
He's talking.
I think
He's talking about Vance and Trump, or Vance and Zelenskyy.
I have more serious things than answer on such
Yeah,
questions.
sure, that's
I will
okay.
answer on more serious
That's a good
questions if
statement.
I can. Yeah, so please, about security guarantees and about a ceasefire. We can't just speak about ceasefire.
All right. This is what Zelenskyy has brought up numerous times. Security guarantees. I want security guarantees. If the United States is in business with you, dude, you have your security guarantee.
We can't just speak about ceasefire and speak and speak. It will not work. Just ceasefire will not never work because I'm like the president. I have this experience, and not only me. Ukraine before my presidency, from the 2014, Putin broken 25 times. 25 times he broken.
Ancient history. Ancient history. Oh, I don't know what the YouTube is playing some crazy video here that has nothing to do with what's going on. But this is where we are with Zelenskyy. He hates Putin. He wants Trump to hate Putin. He litigates the past history. He's violated a ceasefire this many times, 2014, 2015. And Trump is sitting there like, what does this have to do with me? What does this have to do with me? Obama, Biden, that I get, but it's not me. Putin has not violated anything with me. He didn't move on you until Biden stupidly said, well, you know, if it's a minor incursion, it's okay. So Zelenskyy is like, hey, Putin can't be trusted. And Trump's like, well, he doesn't mess around when I'm on the scene. And so it goes bad. And Vance, by the way, the people who say Vance came in with a preconceived agenda, Vance didn't speak till 35 minutes into the conversation.
A mix of sun and clouds for the afternoon. High today at 46. Clouds increasing tonight, though 36. For tomorrow, clouds give way to some sun, not as cold.
He broken his own signature 25 times. His own signature 25 times. He broken ceasefire.
But he never broke to me. He never broke.
No, you were the president. You were the president during.
Never broke to me.
In 2016, you've been the president, Mr. President. You've been the president. He had, of course, not with you, but he had during those periods. He had conversations with our side, and we had Normandy format. You know, the France, Germany, Ukraine, and Russia, and he broken 25 times. That's why we will never accept just ceasefire. It will.
That's stupid. That is really, really stupid.
His own signature.
Control. At Aptus, we help our clients navigate the labyrinth of retirement planning and educate them on how to make appropriate choices for their individual situation. Whether you have never met with a fiduciary investment advisor before, or you just want a second opinion, we're here to help. Call our office today at 614-917-1040 and learn how a cost-free complimentary meeting may be the key to putting your money to work and your mind at ease. And don't forget to listen to the Aptus Blueprint Radio Show Friday evenings at 6, Saturday afternoons at noon, or call our office today at 614-917-1040.
Owning a home is a dream come true, but keeping it comfortable? Temperature Pro understands that your HVAC system is the heart of your home's comfort. When it needs attention, you deserve service that's fast, transparent, and reliable. More than just a repair company, they're your home's partner, offering professional service that respects your space and your family. For routine maintenance or an unexpected breakdown, trust Temperature Pro to keep your home running smoothly with no surprises on pricing. Temperature Pro, your comfort is our promise.
Ever notice your dog slowing down and having health issues and wonder, what can I do to make them better? Well, my friend, add Rough Greens to your dog's food for 90 days, and I guarantee you'll see changes that will amaze you. Greetings. Naturopathy Dr. Dennis Black, inventor of Rough Greens here, and I invite you to give your pup the Rough Greens 90-day challenge. In the first 30 days, you'll see shinier coats and increased energy. By day 60, your dog will have a stronger immune system, less shedding, improved joint function, all due to the live nutrients that you've added to their diet. And at 90 days, better digestion, reduced inflammation, improved heart health, and you may even have reduced their cancer risk. Fetch your dog a free Jumpstart trial bag today. Go to roughgreens.com, use promo code 90days. That's ruffgreens.com, use promo code 90days. You just cover the shipping. You don't have to change your dog's food to improve your dog's health. Just add a scoop of Rough Greens.
I'm a firefighter.
A teacher.
I'm a farmer. I'm a barber.
A waitress. A mom. We're all part of your community. Every day we move in and out of each other's busy lives.
It's easy to take for granted all the little moments that make up our everyday.
Some are good, others not so much.
But that's life. It's when you experience a moment of uncertainty. Something or someone's behavior that doesn't seem quite right.
These are the moments to take a pause.
Because if something doesn't feel right, it's probably not. It's not about paranoia.
Or being afraid.
It's about standing up in our communities.
One detail at a time.
Because a lot of little details can become a pattern.
We
trust our instincts.
Just like you should.
Because only you know what's not supposed to be in your everyday.
So protect your everyday.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
A robust first week of ticket sales to the Night with Larry Elder that I will join with my colleague Jack Windsor to participate in April the 25th at Der Dutchman Restaurant in Plain City. Yeah, your ticket price includes a full Der Dutchman buffet. The tossed salad, the homemade bread, roasted chicken, roast beef, mashed potatoes, and gravy. Sure, yeah, green beans, Amish noodles, pies, all of it. We're not skimping. Come on, doors open at 6 o'clock on Friday, April the 25th. The buffet dinner starts at 6:30, 7 o'clock. Larry Elder and I will take the stage with Jack Windsor. A half an hour to eat. Well, I'll tell you what, you probably will still be eating while we're talking, and that's okay if you don't mind me sneaking a piece of coconut cream pie now and then while Jack is talking to Larry. But this will be awesome, right? The sage of South Central LA. He populates the airwaves here at The Answer from 6 to 9 p.m. Get your tickets at 9890answer.com. So you never know what's going to trigger major world events. World War I started over some crazy assassination. World War II, of course, was already well underway when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. 9/11 precipitated, us 20 years in the Middle East in war, and we should still be there, at least in a police-keeping fashion, foolishly withdrawn by Joe Biden. So that's why the events Friday at the White House are so consequential, because Russia is engaged in a 3-year-plus war with Ukraine. And Vladimir Zelenskyy, the head of Ukraine, he just blew it. I mean, he just absolutely blew it at the White House on Friday. He was there to sign a rare minerals deal. He didn't even need to come. You can sign those things remotely, But he met with Democrats, Chris Murphy, Chuck Schumer, and others before he sat down with Trump. And of course, the Democrats, they love the war machine, man. And they told Zelenskyy, you shouldn't be taking this deal, and you need security guarantees. And Trump has said, no, we're not going to put boots on the ground in Ukraine. And Pete Hegseth has said, we're not going to put boots on the ground in Ukraine, and you're not joining NATO. Zelenskyy needs to come to a conclusion. He's never getting in NATO. Ukraine is not getting in NATO. And Putin is not losing that war. It might go on interminably. It's trench warfare. It'll be ugly, but Putin has more resources than Zelenskyy. And Zelenskyy has, as Trump told him, no cards to play if we pull out. And our contingency for staying in is you got to start repaying us with some rare earth minerals, a little bit of oil and gas. But we need to be in business with you so we have a stake in Ukraine, and that is your security guarantee. But Zelenskyy can't let go of the fact that Putin has been a bad actor. He is a bad actor. He's former KGB. And so Zelenskyy, and this is the point where everything went south, we're like 40 minutes into this conversation, which started with Trump saying, hey, I'm really glad to have him here. And Trump defended him on not wearing a suit. It was all cordial. And then Zelenskyy just keeps pounding security guarantees, security guarantees, security guarantees. And I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. And Trump wants a ceasefire. And Trump considers the U.S. being there the security guarantee. But Zelenskyy just wouldn't shut up. And for those of you who think, JD Vance came in with an agenda, this is what the idiots on the commentary podcast said and what the National Review guys said. JD Vance came in, he ambushed him. If JD Vance had an ambush plan of Volodymyr Zelenskyy in their meeting at the White House, do you think JD Vance sits there for 35 minutes and doesn't say a word? Not a word, not a peep. Marco Rubio spoke before JD Vance did. Vance was defending Trump, and then Trump was defending Vance, and Zelenskyy was out of line when he kept talking about Putin violating ceasefire deals that were in place not during Trump's presidency. And Zelenskyy argued with him about it. Here is a taste of that.
His own signature. 25 times he broken ceasefire.
But he never broke to me. He never broke.
No, you were the president.
Okay. No. You were the president. No, he violated. Okay. When did Trump become president? He was elected in 2016. But when did he become the president? Oh, that's right. In 2017. Listen to Zelenskyy.
You were the president. You never broke to me. In 2016, you've been the president.
No, he wasn't.
You've been. You were the president. You never broke to me. In 2016, you've been the president, Mr. President. You've been the president, but He had, of course, not with you, but he had during those periods, he had conversations.
Just contradicted himself.
And we had Normandy format, you know, the France, Germany, Ukraine, and Russia. And he broken 25 times. That's why we will never accept just ceasefire. It will not work without security guarantees.
Okay, this is a bad move. Trump wants Zelenskyy to perceive the U.S.'s presence in Ukraine in the middle of a business deal as the security guarantee, because it is. It is. Putin does not want to kill American citizens, American contractors. Zelenskyy wants boots on the ground. Has he been told there'll be no boots on the ground from the U.S.? Yes. Has he been told he won't get in NATO? Yes. He was told that by Scott Bessent 10 days ago, the Treasury Secretary, when he went over to negotiate. He was told that by Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State in Munich. He knew full well he wasn't going to get that out of Donald Trump. And instead of taking what he could get, a business deal with the U.S. that is, in fact, the security guarantee he wanted, he decided to try to embarrass Donald Trump in front of the U.S. and worldwide media in the Oval Office. Is that a good idea?
Security guarantees, maybe President is right about this document and other, but this document is not enough. Strong army is enough because his soldiers afraid, Putin's soldiers afraid of our soldiers when we're strong enough. If we are not strong enough, if we are empty, if our storage is empty, we can't defend our land. Today, you know, he knows that we have, all the world knows that we have meeting, yes? Why he's using ballistic? Putin today using ballistic on our hospitals, schools, and etc. Ballistic. So he knows that we are here and that President Trump is really have goodwill to stop this war. And you hear now the president. So why he's using? So he doesn't want to stop.
Because the war's still going on. Because you don't have any American contractors there. Because you don't have, I mean, yes, Putin is using ballistic missiles. Do you think because he's trying to like inflict more damage before you reach a deal with the United States of America, which would be more of an incentive to reach a deal with the United States of America, instead of being intractable and not, I mean, I'm just utterly astounded at how tone deaf Zelenskyy was in this meeting. And he was put up to it by Democrats because Democrats have one policy position. They really have one policy position. Oh, I know you think, oh, no, they have a policy position on the border. And they have a policy position on green energy. And they have a policy position on abortion. And they have a policy position on Ukraine. No, they don't. They have one policy position. You know what it is. If Trump's for it, they're against it. If Trump's for it, they're against it. That's their policy position. Okay? How did that work? When Joe Biden undid everything Trump did in his first administration, did Joe Biden get a second term? Did Kamala Harris get a first term when Joe Biden fell down on the job in front of all of us on June the 27th? No. Donald Trump has the backing of the American people. He was strong in the face of a weak leader of Ukraine who came to the White House demanding more from the United States of America. I think he thought he was dealing with Joe Biden. He's not.
With SRN News, I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. Mexico's president says her administration is waiting to see if President Trump makes good on his threat to impose 25% tariffs on imports starting tomorrow. He had threatened to impose tariffs last month before suspending them at the last minute. The man accused of opening fire at an Independence Day parade in suburban Chicago has pleaded guilty to murder. The announcement came moments ahead of today's opening arguments for his trial. The 2022 shooting left 7 people dead and wounded more than 40. A power outage at Baltimore Washington International Thurgood Marshall Airport is causing significant flight delays and other interruptions to air travel. More than 100 flights have been delayed. A handful were canceled as of mid-morning. Stocks have turned lower, the Dow down 111. This is SRN News.
Charlie Kirk here. I've been thinking, why does it feel like losing weight is harder than ever before? Mixed messages, bad diets, and quick fix solutions. Many people are left stuck and exhausted trying to fight a battle they can't seem to win. If you feel this way, you're not alone. I used to feel that way too. But let me tell you, it's not your fault. Your body is working against you, and delaying action only makes it harder. I took a step 2 years ago and called.
It's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. It's not a question of alignment.
Weight loss consultation. The first 11 callers who mention healthy will get 2 free weeks added to their weight loss package. Call 855-696-2020 and mention the word healthy. Visit them at myphdweightloss.com. That is myphdweightloss.com. It works, everybody. Check it out at myphdweightloss.
He's consistently ranked by industry trades as one of the country's top radio morning hosts. He's Chris DeGaulle, and you can hear him weekday mornings from 6 to 9 on your station for news, opinion, and passion. 98.9 FM, The Answer.
Hi, my name is Justin Petrichor. I'm Julian Petrichor. We run Alpha Waste Service. We offer front-load dumpsters as well as roll-off dumpsters for local residents and businesses. Our prices are set at flat fixed rates. The price we give is the price you'll pay.
We don't force our customers into contracts unless they want one. We keep our customers by providing quality service at affordable prices.
If you need a front load or roll-off dumpster, please visit alphawasteservice.com.
Again, that's alphawasteservice.com.
Hi, it's Bruce Hooley with exciting news from MyPillow. They are having their first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. You can save 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen sizes start at $59.98. King size starts at $69.98. You can also save 30% on the brand new My Crosses. These are designed in the likeness of the one Mike has worn every day for over 20 years. Yes, they come in men's and women's, and they are made right here in the USA. You can also get a 2025 six-piece My Towel set for only $29.98. The initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they're gone. And the best-selling standard My Pillow, it's just $14.98. To take advantage of the first ever mega sale, go to mypillow.com and use the promo code Bruce. That's mypillow.com and use the promo code Bruce. Now, I know what you're thinking. You have to order $75 or more to get free shipping. Nope, that ship has sailed, because right now every order ships absolutely free. Go to mypillow.com and use my promo code Bruce.
News, opinion, passion. Here, 98.9 FM, The Answer. Anywhere you go with The Answer's mobile app at 98.9theanswer.com. Also on your smart speakers or iHeart.
Well, Ohio Christian University is making it very easy for you to enroll your son or daughter at OCU, or maybe yourself at OCU this fall. Great school, been down there, spoken, beautiful campus, and boy, do they have room to expand. But an Ohio Christian University scholarship that saves you $2,500, would that be welcome? Sure, it would. All you have to do is go to the Discount Shopping Club at 989theanswer.com and find your way by clicking on shopping to the OCU tuition scholarship offer. You'll spend $2,500, but you'll get $5,000 off an OCU tuition. Now, you can also get a furnace, mattresses, other items. We have lots and lots of bargains in the Discount Shopping Club, and you'd be foolish to buy a big ticket item, something that would take twice as much money out of your wallet than it would absolutely have to, if only first you had accessed the Discount Shopping Club at 989theanswer.com. All right, we are going back through the 49-minute White House throwdown, which the first 40 minutes were calm, peaceful. Just to show you, and then I'm going to get to the point where it really got juicy. This is how the meeting started, okay? So if you think, oh, Trump and Vance laying in wait for Volodymyr Zelenskyy, this is what you've been told by the mainstream legacy media. This is what you've been told by squishy Republicans like on National Review's The Editor's Podcast and Commentary Podcast. Oh, Vance was laying in wait. If I'm laying in wait and the meeting goes 35 minutes before I speak up, I'm thinking I lost my opportunity. JD Vance just sat there for 35 minutes. And then when he talked, he didn't even talk about Ukraine. He talked about free speech and Keir Starmer and and Britain. That was his first comment. All right, so this is how it started. Then we're going to go to where it really, really went bad. And it's clearly Zelensky's fault. But this is how Donald Trump welcomed Zelenskyy to the White House on Friday.
Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to have President Zelenskyy of Ukraine. And we've been working very hard, very close. So we've actually known each other for a long time. We've been dealing with each other for a long time and very well. We had a little negotiation spat, but that worked out great. I think for both countries, I think for the world, actually, beyond both countries. And we have something that is a very fair deal. And we look forward to getting in and digging and working and getting some of the rare earth. But it means we're going to be inside, and it's a big commitment from the United States.
Boom, right there. Zelenskyy should have read the room. Donald Trump considers this a big commitment from the United States. There's the security guarantee I want. Now we flash forward 40 minutes into the conversation. And Trump is asked here, well, you know, are you aligned with Putin or are you aligned with Zelenskyy?
It's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way. So that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
I would respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the president of the United States' words mattered more than the president of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
All right. Now, who was JD Vance critical? That's the first time JD Vance spoke about Ukraine and Russia. The first comment. It's 40 minutes in to the 49-minute meeting in the Oval Office. Who was JD Vance critical of there? Was he critical of Zelenskyy? No. Was he critical of Ukraine? He was critical of Joe Biden and the fact that Joe Biden did not engage in diplomacy. And this is where Zelenskyy took it right after Vance mentioned diplomacy and Trump engaging in diplomacy.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, parts of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied. And
that's before Trump took office.
People, you know what the contact
2015.
2014.
2014 and 2014.
2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but
that's exactly right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, yeah, the situation the same. The people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him.
It is not Donald Trump's job or responsibility or fault that Vladimir Putin went into Ukraine in 2014, 2 years before Donald Trump ran for president. It is not his fault. Zelenskyy has a long and understandable hatred for Vladimir Putin. Donald Trump kept Putin from advancing on Ukraine from 2017 through 2021. What does Zelenskyy not understand about that? He attacked Vance, and here he goes. This is right on the heels of what I just stopped. Here he goes after Vance on, what do you mean about diplomacy?
What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media.
All right, JD Vance has had enough, okay? Zelensky's pushed him, and he's pushed him, and he's pushed him. And this is where Vance is like, okay, I'm done with this nonsense.
You guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
All right, this is just garbage. You know what this is? Have you ever been to Ukraine? This is the don't you know who I am part of the conversation. Oh, have you ever been to Ukraine? Oh, you mentioned conscripts. We're going out on the streets and grabbing people. You'll find on my social media timeline a guy looks like he's like 30, 35, grabbed by Ukrainian authorities this week, stuffed in a van. He's fighting to get away. He says, I have a child at home to take care of. They don't care. They have gone through so many Ukrainian citizens over there that they are grabbing men off the street and forcing them into the Ukraine military. So don't get your panties in a wad about Trump saying Zelensky's a dictator, because that is exactly what dictators do. And so now Zelensky's acting to Vance like, oh, don't you know who I am? You've never been here. I used to hate this when athletes would say, oh, have you ever played the game? As if I had to play Division I college football to ask you a question about playing Division I college football. This is what Zelensky's doing. Oh, you've never been there. How could you possibly know? Because I have Fox News, because I have CNN and Newsmax, and I read. That's how. And Vance answers this perfectly, like, oh, okay, you want me to come over there? I'm not going to be a part of your dog and pony show, like Lindsey Graham and Joe Biden and other Democratic politicians who you've had over there.
I have been to, I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr.
Boom.
President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
That is a great response. Like, you got problems, dude. Don't be blind to your problems. And Zelensky, rather than reading the room, like, hey, I went too far. I ticked this guy off. Trump's not ticked off yet, but I ticked his vice president off. I'm going to back off. No, he doubles down with dictating to Trump and Vance. Oh, you think you got protection from an ocean. Your ocean. It's not going to protect you at all.
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning. Sure. First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
Okay. You feel good now. You'll feel it in the future. Now Trump's had enough.
God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know that.
bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's exactly what you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
Feel influenced.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influenced.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now.
You don't have the cards right now. He doesn't. He doesn't have the cards. He has whatever cards we hand him, and he's throwing them away.
A mix of sun and clouds for the afternoon. High today at 46. Clouds increasing tonight, low 36. For tomorrow, clouds to give way to some sun. Not as cold, breezy day, high 58. Clouds and windy on Wednesday. Mild in the morning with a bit of rain. Shower and thunderstorm for the afternoon. Could get some hail and damaging wind. High Wednesday, 58. Snow shower on Thursday morning. Otherwise, some clouds and sun with a high 40. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
Winter is here, and if your home's heating system is on its last leg, don't wait any longer to replace that tired old furnace. Get a brand new Goodman furnace from Temperature Pro for just $1,900 through the Discount Shopping Club. Regular price is $3,800. Temperature Pro is a leader in both commercial and residential HVAC systems. Now, this one's guaranteed to go quickly, so check out this great deal at 9890answer.com.
Have you thought about what's really protecting your wealth? Between the dollar's decreasing value and growing uncertainty on the world stage, all Americans could use a little more stability. That's where Texas Bullion Exchange comes in. With gold, you can take comfort in knowing that it can help your wealth be shielded from the unexpected and be preserved for generations to come. Whether you're rolling over your IRA, diversifying your portfolio, or simply exploring the unique benefit of precious metals, Texas Bullion Exchange is here to help. At Texas Bullion Exchange, the focus is helping you preserve what you've worked so hard to build. With world-class support and commitment to your success, it's never been easier to take that step towards greater financial security. Call 855-839-2728 or visit texasbullion.com/Mike. Call today and mention Mike Gallagher for a free wealth preservation guide and a one-on-one consultation with one of their precious metal experts. That's 855-839-2728. Secure your future with Texas Bullion Exchange.
Ian Ralston was a combat medic who suffered a catastrophic war injury in Iraq. When I met Ian for the first time, I knew we had to do everything we could to get him every benefit he's earned to live as normal life as possible. And we did. He needed an accessible house. We got that grant. And a van for his wheelchair to get him there. My name is Jason Stevenson, and I work for Paralyzed Veterans of America.
America's most seriously injured veterans are getting all the care and benefits they've earned, thanks to Paralyzed Veterans of America. For over 65 years, Paralyzed Veterans of America has helped hundreds of thousands of veterans, and their service is free to all veterans and their families. Paralyzed Veterans of America, changing lives, building futures. To learn more, visit pva.org. A public service message from Paralyzed Veterans of America.
You can really make a difference in the life of an older adult by volunteering to deliver Meals on Wheels. This is Chuck Gehring, president of Life Care Alliance, your Meals on Wheels provider. We need more volunteers. Listen to how serving as a volunteer for Life Care Alliance has touched the life of one of our volunteers.
I'm Dan Marvin. I've been doing Meals on Wheels for almost 20 years now. When I first started, it was just something I thought I could help people out with, but it turned out that I ended up helping myself. It's a labor of love, and I would do it even if I had to pay for it.
Hi, my name's Penny Masters Bose. I was raised to give back, and Life Care Meals on Wheels is a great way to do that.
Make a difference today. To learn more, call 444-MEAL or 444-6325 or visit us at lifecarealliance.org.
Well, I got a couple questions for you. Is there something you used to like to do that you can't do anymore, or you do it, but man, it's painful to do it now, whether it's walk around the neighborhood or work in the yard or get up out of a chair? If that's the case, then you are a prime candidate for the relief that you might be able to obtain from QC Kinetics. Their clinics in Dublin, Gahanna, I believe they're in Canal Winchester now as well. Fantastic, because QC Kinetics is growing, which means a lot of you are going and taking advantage of advanced biologic treatments, which are essentially a scientific way to get your body to do what it's already naturally equipped to do, but it just needs a little bit of an assist. Your blood has healing agents in it. That's why your finger heals when you cut it. These healing agents, called platelets, are withdrawn from your blood by the medical professionals at QC Kinetics and reinserted in affected areas. And that is how you get relief. Take advantage of the free consultation, 380-208-4544, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. We'll get back to the dust up at the White House first. I hate to see this. Judge James Green, judge in Franklin County Municipal Court for 31 years, is retiring. And I know Judge Green a little bit. He is a phenomenal man, sharp dresser, Judge Green, if you hear this, super sharp dresser, and a very kind-hearted soul and a servant leader. And as you know from listening to the Bruce Hooley Show many times, we do not have enough good jurists on the bench in Franklin County, whether it's a municipal court or whether it is Franklin County Common Pleas Court. And at the end of this year, after more than 30 years as a judge, Judge Green will be leaving the bench. That's sad to me because we need good people. And he is a guy who cares about people, but he doesn't suffer any nonsense. And so I hate to see Judge James Green leaving the bench. And I look forward to seeing him. Big supporter of Adult Teen Challenge Ohio. And that's a phenomenal organization. There are no bad people who sacrifice their time, their treasure to help women escape the throes of all manner of addiction. Linda Hurstberg and her organization do a great job, and Judge James Green has been a ardent supporter of Adult Teen Challenge and has walked out his faith from the bench. So phenomenal man, and I hate to see him leave the judiciary in Columbus. It will be poorer for his absence. Now we will get to in hour number 2 the really egregiously inexcusable dirty play by a Reynoldsburg player against a Hilliard Bradley player in the Ohio High School boys basketball tournament over the weekend. But we're delving into what happened at the White House on Friday. We don't typically talk about Friday events as the lead story on Monday, but it was that consequential. We've never seen anything like it before. Trump seemed to kind of relish it at the end because the American people got a view of what negotiating with Vladimir Zelenskyy is like. It's impossible. He hates Putin with the passion of 1,000 suns. Understandable. I'm not saying he shouldn't, but I'm saying he shouldn't expect us to not engage in diplomacy and negotiation the way Donald Trump has become a billionaire engaging in diplomacy and negotiation. Like, Donald Trump is a flatterer. Whoever it was when Trump was first elected to the White House said something about Trump that is totally true. And Zelenskyy would have been well advised to remember this. Do not take Donald Trump literally, but take him seriously. When Donald Trump says Zelensky's a dictator, you know why he said that? Because Putin wants to hear it. Because Putin needs to hear that. Because Putin has no incentive to come to the table. He's holding thousands of nukes. He has no need. He's got unending populations. He's got support from, was it China or North Korea sending troops? Putin has more resources to win this war. Zelenskyy does not, particularly if we abandon him, which he goaded us into on Friday. So I get it. You hate Putin. I understand why you hate Putin. You should hate Putin. But you can't expect us. You can't impose your hatred for Putin on us while we're trying to get him to the table to stop killing your citizens. And Trump basically told him that when he's like, you don't have any cards. You have no cards to play here. I'm not playing cards. This is another mistake Zelenskyy made. This is a high stakes conversation. If you watch Zelensky's interview with Bret Baier on Friday night, Zelenskyy did not apologize for what happened at the White House. And it's clear that Zelenskyy, while he speaks English, he does not speak fluent English. There was a point in his interview with Bret Baier where Bret Baier said, do you think your relationship with Donald Trump is salvageable? And Zelenskyy got a blank look on his face, and he looked off camera to his translator. Basically, what does salvageable mean? And the guy, you could hear him in his Ukrainian native language, explain what salvageable was. And then Zelenskyy said, oh, no, this is bigger than he and I. It is. And that's a heck of a time for you to come to that realization, 4 hours after you blew the deal to smithereens at the White House by being disrespectful when Donald Trump said, you don't hold any cards.
With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's back to you. Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once? This entire meeting? No, in this entire meeting, have you said thank you? You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Zelenskyy says, what is he talking about? What is he talking about? You, near the end of the presidential campaign, go to Pennsylvania and appear at a munitions factory with Josh Shapiro and Democrats in what either was a clear or was certainly interpreted as a clear attempt to influence the presidential election in the United States of America. Whoever gave you that advice gave you really, really bad advice, because you goaded Donald Trump into disrespecting you. I'm shocked he even cares about your country. We know JD Vance has gone on record before saying, look, this is not sustainable. We can't keep pouring money into Ukraine. I understand why Zelenskyy wants the old regime in charge, because you would want to, a buffoon in charge who says, well, we'll just keep funding this war as long as it takes. As long as it takes. Yeah. Unsustainable. Can't be done. You cannot continue to pour billions into Ukraine. And if Zelenskyy had a brain in his head, he would realize that Biden withheld. How many times did Zelenskyy ask for jets and certain kinds of bombs and certain kinds of missiles? And Biden was like, no, that'll escalate things. And he wouldn't give it to him. Only to like 6 months later, a year later, after it could have made a consequential difference, to give it to him. So I understand why Zelenskyy thinks he can play an American president for a fool. But it's a different president. And Zelenskyy was the only one who came off looking like a fool on Friday.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country's in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No, you've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning. You're not winning this. You have a damn
We-
good chance of
we are
coming out
staying,
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet.
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this
We
cabinet.
gave you,
I
through this
said
stupid president, $350 billion.
You
We
voted
gave
for
you
your
military equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave, but they had to use our military.
What about
If you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
You invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
He is not wrong. He is not wrong. Zelenskyy doesn't want to hear it, but he's absolutely right. By the way, that is an insult to every American. We've been doing this alone. No, you haven't. We funded you all along. You wonder why JD Vance said you're not thankful? That comment right there. Oh, we were alone. No, you're not. And you don't have to be alone anymore. But you blew it on Friday.
Quick question. Did you know that the conservative news and talk content that you're currently enjoying on this station and online is supported by advertisers? Here's another one for you. And this one is for our business audience. Are you aware that our loyal listeners eagerly engage with our advertisers because they know that these advertisers share their values and care about our programming as much as they do? Listeners, tell your favorite businesses about us. And business owners, contact us today to create and implement strategies that drive people to connect and engage with you, helping you grow and experience the value of long-term loyal customers. Join with us today to continue spreading the good word.
To learn how to reach our audience with your business's message and support this station, contact Carolyn Cassidy at 614-318-0401 or click on the Advertise With Us banner at 989theanswer.com. That's 989theanswer.com.
Find us at 989theanswer.com. Download our apps and stream us 24/7. WTOH and WTOH HD1, Upper Arlington, Columbus.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has rallied European leaders on behalf of Ukraine and wider European security.
Our starting point must be to put Ukraine in the strongest possible position now, so that they can negotiate from a position of strength. And we are doubling down in our support.
The European heads of state pledging billions in support of Ukraine.
British Prime Minister Keir Starmer announced a loan of nearly $3 billion on Sunday, which will be funded through the freezing of Russian assets. But prior to this announcement, the EU has spent more money on Russian fossil fuels than on financial aid to Ukraine. According to a tracker from the Kiel Institute for the World Economy, in 2024, the EU spent 39% more on Russian fossil fuel imports than it set aside for Ukraine. An economist with the Institute says there was a striking gap between how much aid donors had mobilized for Ukraine compared with past wars. Germany mobilized much more aid more quickly for Kuwait's liberation in 1990 than it has for Ukraine in a comparable time period. Teja Stevens reporting.
Also at townhall.com, some GOP senators want to battle the House on which budget proposal the president should accept. We have more on the story from correspondent Bernie Bennett.
Senate Republican committee chairs delivered a blunt message to Senate Majority Leader John Thune last week that they want the Senate to assert itself and not let the White House and Speaker Mike Johnson dictate to them. They said the Senate should stand firm, not just on the budget bill that will be used to move President Trump's agenda, but also on preventing a shutdown and not accepting a year-long government funding resolution that would trigger cuts to defense spending. The committee leaders also voiced their frustrations over the growing momentum behind a long-term continuing resolution that would not allow lawmakers to substantially adjust discretionary spending priorities for the rest of fiscal 2025. Bernie Bennett, Washington.
More of these stories at townhall.com.
A mix of sun and clouds for the afternoon. High today at 46. Clouds increasing tonight, low 36. For tomorrow, clouds to give way to some sun. Not as cold, breezy day. High 58. Clouds and windy on Wednesday. Mild in the morning with a bit of rain. Shower and thunderstorm for the afternoon. Could get some hail and damaging wind. High Wednesday 58. Snow shower on Thursday morning. Otherwise, some clouds and sun with a high 40. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
ProView Remodeling, Ohio's #1 choice in sunroofs, windows, doors, decks, siding, patios, porches, basements, and bathroom remodels.
We're going to keep the live stream rolling here through the noon break because I want to talk about this Reynoldsburg situation.
Interest. That's right, 60 months, zero interest. Call or text 7 days a week, 614-756-3140. You win with ProView Remodeling, 614-756-3140. Check us out at proviewremodeling.com.
With SRN Sports, I'm George Williams. In NBA action last night, it was the Timberwolves rallying to beat the Suns 116-98. Phoenix lost for the 11th time in 14 games in their slump. They're now 4 games behind Dallas for the final spot in the Western Conference playoffs. Timberwolves hold the number 8 spot in the West, and half a game ahead of the Kings. Other Western leaders, the Lakers beat the Clippers 108-102. In overtime, Cavaliers down the Trailblazers, another overtime win for the Knicks over the Heat, 116-112. In a 2-point game, it was the Raptors over the Magic, 104-102. Celtics beat the Nuggets. It was the Thunder defeating the Spurs, and the Pelicans beat the Jazz. NHL action, Golden Knights shut the Devils out 2-0. In overtime, Maple Leafs down the Penguins. In overtime, Hurricanes over the Flames. Wild over the Bruins, 1-0. Rangers beat the Predators 4-0. And it was the Stars, 6-3 winners over the Blues. This is SRN Sports. Men's top 25 college basketball. 8th-ranked Michigan State, a winner over 11th-ranked Wisconsin. And unranked Illinois defeated number 15 Michigan by 20 points. So as a result, the Spartans go a game up on the Wolverines in the Big Ten Conference with 2 weeks left in college basketball's regular season before conference championships. And then, of course, March Madness. In one other game, Memphis beat UAB 88-81. The updated top 25 rankings due out today for college basketball. In NASCAR, Christopher Bell takes the checkered flag ahead of William Byron in the Circuit of the Americas Grand Prix style race. They had that run in Austin yesterday. Pro golf, the Cognizant Classic winner is Joe Highsmith at 19 under par, was by 2 shots over Jacob Bridgman. The first round leader, Jake Kemp, fell off the pace. He had shot a milestone 59 on the opening round. He wound up finishing 4 shots back. This is SRN Sports.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-515-1865. 800-515-1865. 800-515-1865.
Hour number 2, Bruce Hooley Show. Glad to have you along. Bottom of the hour was a visit with Josh Pick, the Trump-Zelenskyy blow-up in the White House. I'm going to ask Josh about whether it has any impact on world financial markets and whether it has any impact on, therefore, your investments. Josh and I sit for the Aptus Retirement Blueprint Radio Show every Friday at 6 p.m., and Josh joins me Mondays for Money Monday, so that'll air at 12:35 p.m. Over the weekend, Columbus in the national spotlight. Saturday night at Ohio Stadium, the NHL Stadium Series played out with the Detroit Red Wings against the Columbus Blue Jackets in Ohio Stadium. Attendance of over 90,000 people, which I am told is the second largest attendance ever for an outdoor National Hockey League game. Sorry about it. The largest attendance ever was at Michigan Stadium, which of course holds more than Ohio Stadium. Jeff, you would be a better authority on this than I am. Are those the first time the Blue Jackets have worn those jerseys? Bring those back. Those were fantastic. The jerseys with the cannons on the front. They were phenomenal. And the Jackets won the game 5-3. They played scoreless first period, scored 3 times in the second period, and then went to sleep in the third period. And were tied with 2 minutes and change left, and then scored an amazing go-ahead goal and an empty net goal to win it 5-3. But what was every aspect of this was special, although I'm told it was like really super cold. And I was concerned because, look, we all know, if you pay any attention at all to the Columbus Blue Jackets, that they suffered a horrific tragedy on August the 29th when their best player, Johnny Gaudreau, was riding his bike in his home state of New Jersey with his brother Matthew the day before their sister's wedding, when a guy who was drunk went to pass a car on the left. I don't know if the car veered or whatever, but the dummy decided he would then pass the car on the right. And Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew were riding their bicycles on the right side of the road, as they should be. And this drunk guy ran them over and killed them both. Matthew Gaudreau's wife is pregnant, so that child will never meet her father. Johnny Gaudreau's wife, Meredith, was interviewed, and the Gaudreau family was included. The players from both sides dressed in tribute to Johnny Gaudreau. The Red Wings wore jerseys from teams as they walked out, not in the game, but as they were getting ready to go into the locker room. The Red Wings were wearing jerseys of teams, hockey fans, sweaters of teams that Johnny Gaudreau had played for. And the Blue Jackets were wearing what Johnny Gaudreau typically wore to the rink, which is sweatpants and a hoodie, and they all had them from the same New Jersey surf shop. So it was touching. I was concerned that, look, grief is a terrible thing. Any of you who've ever suffered grief know it's a terrible thing. And it's insidious. You never know when it's going to strike. You never know how it's going to strike. It could be a song, could be a memory, whatever. And I was concerned that I understood why ESPN wanted to play up the Johnny Gaudreau angle. But you first and foremost have to be respectful of the Gaudreau family, because they're the ones who live with this every day, every hour, every minute. Meredith Gaudreau was amazing in her interview with ESPN. And she issued a statement on Sunday that read like this: "Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the NHL, Detroit Red Wings, and especially the Columbus Blue Jackets for honoring John in so many ways during the Stadium Series this weekend. The management, players, wives, and fans from both organizations made my family feel so loved and supported. Thank you most of all for including our children by making them a big part of all the events throughout the weekend. I know John truly appreciates it as much as I do. Yeah, that was touching, very, very touching to see, and that's the best. That's the best of sports right there, bringing people together and supporting a family that is experiencing a grief the likes of which none of us are equipped to deal with until you are thrust into it, and then God gives you the strength to go through it by allowing others around you to come alongside you and support you through it. The worst of what sports has to offer was on full display at the fairgrounds on Saturday when Reynoldsburg played Hilliard Bradley for a district championship in basketball. And Reynoldsburg's a really good team. They were seeded second, and Hilliard Bradley was seeded fifth, and it was not a huge disparity between the two teams. And it was one of those games where Bradley had it going, and they were hitting threes, and they were ahead, by a lot in the first half. This was going to be a monumental upset. And one of Bradley's best players is a young man by the name of Ben Murgon. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. I hope I am. And he had just hit 2 3-pointers in the game with 4:21 left in the first half to put Bradley ahead 30-18. When Hilliard Bradley was bringing the ball down the floor in the immediate aftermath of that, a Reynoldsburg player who BroBible.com identifies as Makai Roddy, who they deem Reynoldsburg's star freshman. He was playing defense, right at the half-court line, and the Hilliard player starts to make a move toward the basket, extends his arm a little bit, as all basketball players do to keep the defense away, and the Reynoldsburg player fell backward trying to draw a charging foul. No harm, no foul. It wasn't a charging foul. It shouldn't have been called a charging foul. It wasn't called a charging foul. And I don't know if that's what set off this Reynoldsburg player, but Ben Murgon, the Hilliard player, is dribbling the ball just inside half court to kind of reset the offense. And he passes the ball to the wing, and there's clear space between the two. And after he passes the ball to the wing, if Bro Bible is correct, Makai Roddy takes a step toward Ben Murgon and inarguably punches him in the groin. It is as dirty a play as I have seen one player to another in a basketball game ever. And I've been doing this for 40 years. Okay? So here is how it sounded on the broadcast. There's an organization called, I think it's the National Federation of High Schools. You pay for the games. You can watch the games. The guys who were doing the game, all they see is Ben Murgon on the floor clutching at his groin. They go back and watch the replay, and this is how they narrate the replay. I don't know who the announcers are, but I applaud them for saying what had to be said. It was inexcusable. I've been trying to get some details on this. I've been told that this player was not assessed a technical foul. He was assessed an intentional foul. Now, I don't think they have video replay at this level of high school basketball. They have it in the state tournament, which will be played in 2 weeks, boys state tournament, girls state tournaments this week. But there is video of it because I've seen it. I've circulated it on my social media. It's now being written about by Outkick.com, by this other national outlet Bro Bible. The offending player and the player who was unjustifiably hit have both been identified on social media. Ben Murgon left the game after he was punched, and Reynoldsburg went on a 7-0 run to end the half. So there's a clear advantage gained by one of Hilliard's best players and hottest players in this game being punched. You might be sitting there thinking, well, they should make Reynoldsburg forfeit the game. I don't know that you can do that. You can't assume what will happen. But what should absolutely happen is that this player should be suspended for the remainder of the season and for a significant portion, if not all, of next season. He's a freshman playing on one of Central Ohio's best teams, so I'm going to assume he's a very talented player. But he made a very indefensible decision to purposefully assault, and I don't choose that word lightly, assault another player in the middle of a game without provocation. Okay, the kid's hot. He's hitting shots. He's going to knock your team out. Okay, it doesn't justify violence like that. I'm going to hope that Reynoldsburg High School steps up today. And don't come at me with kids got a tough home life or whatever. He might have a tough home life, and I'm sorry if he's got a tough home life. But if you don't punish this, just like you don't punish kids who steal cars, you don't punish kids. If you don't punish this, you're going to get more of this. So Reynoldsburg's got to step up, and if they don't, the OHSAA needs to.
Afternoon, high today at 46, clouds increasing tonight, low 36. For tomorrow, clouds to give way to some sun, not a cool, breezy day, high 58. Clouds and windy on Wednesday. Mild in the morning with a bit of rain. Showers, thunderstorms for the afternoon. Could get some hail and damaging wind. High Wednesday, 58. Snow shower on Thursday morning, otherwise some clouds and sun with a high 40. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM.
Brett Ford was on the call. I can hear his voice.
Oh, Brett Ford? I don't know Brett.
I sent you his contact information.
Is a dream come true. But keeping it comfortable, Temperature Pro understands that your HVAC system is the heart of your home's comfort. When it needs attention, you deserve service that's fast, transparent, and reliable. More than just a repair. They're your home's partner, offering professional service that respects your space and your family.
It's incredible.
Routine maintenance or an unexpected breakdown, trust Temperature Pro to keep your home running smoothly with no surprises. Temperature Pro, your comfort is our promise.
Hi, it's Bruce Hooley with exciting news about the newest product from MyPillow. Now, for years, customers have been asking if MyPillow sells the cross necklaces like the one Mike Lindell proudly wears every day. So, they're excited to announce that Mike has partnered with a jeweler right here in the USA to create a beautiful sterling silver cross. My Crosses, yes, you can save 30% today by using my promo code Bruce at mypillow.com. Just click on the radio podcast square and use my promo code Bruce at mypillow.com to get this latest product, My Cross. You can choose from the men's or the women's style. The My Cross for women has a more delicate look and is reversible with mother of pearl style translucent white enamel on one side and style black enamel on the other. The My Cross for men has a slightly larger cross with onyx-style black enamel and a slightly longer, thicker chain. Now, this amazing offer won't last long, so order now at mypillow.com. Use my promo code Bruce, mypillow.com, promo code Bruce.
Dennis Prager is recuperating. We know you miss your daily dose of Dennis. That's why Pragertopia is giving you a special gift. Right now, Pragertopia members can hear the best 2 hours of Dennis's favorite segments from as far back as 2010. On Monday, you can hear the Happiness Hour.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what I'm about.
Tuesday is Celebrity Guest Day.
Donald Trump Jr. is in studio with me.
On Wednesday, it's the Male-Female Hour.
I really do wish there were a way to ascertain the number of marriages that this hour has helped.
Thursday, the Ultimate Issues Hour.
Not having ultimate issues clarity is like having a map, but you don't know where you're going.
And Friday is Open Lines.
Feel free to ask me anything about me, about you, about life.
So if you're missing your daily dose of Dennis, go to Pragertopia.com and hear all your favorite segments, along with lectures, celebrity interviews, his famous Torah teachings, and more. Get your daily dose of Dennis at Pragertopia.com. Pragertopia.com.
There's something very dangerous in your home. It could be hiding in a closet or bleeding of the basement. It's not sharp or toxic or flammable, yet it helps send more people to the trauma center than any other household outlet.
Hey, honey, do me a favor and hold the ladder for me.
I have a better idea. Let's just call somebody to clean the gutters.
To scoop out a few leaves, I'll be down in a heartbeat. Whoa! Ow!
Using a ladder might seem easy. Misusing one is even easier. Ask any of the 150,000 people who fell off their ladders into the trauma center last year alone. Don't let a do-it-yourself project do yourself in. For tips on ladder safety, visit orthoinfo.org, a public service message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, who want to keep your bones safe, strong, and well-connected.
I dropped off some flooring samples for a potential customer of Bruce Hooley Flooring this morning, and I am going to measure a condominium, actually two of them, one today and one tomorrow. So looking forward to that, and looking forward to you acting on what other people have acted on, which is go to brucehooley.com and click flooring if you're interested in doing a flooring project at your home. I really appreciate those of you. I often hear people say, a friend heard me talking about flooring on the show, and they said, hey, you got to get a hold of Bruce, because he says he can get you products for less and he can get it installed faster. And indeed I can. And I would love the opportunity to do so. So that's great. You know, it always helps with the medical bills, with the diagnosis, and it always helps with the college bills for the two girls in Christian schools and the third in private school. But the best part of it is I get to meet you and talk and enjoy growing my circle of friends and fans. So go to brucehooley.com, click flooring, brucehooley.com, click flooring. All right, it's time for Today in Crazy. Boston over the weekend, an off-duty police officer killed a guy with a knife who was at the Chick-fil-A on Boylestown Street. He tried to stab two people, which the officer deemed to be enough to shoot the attacker before anybody could be killed. The attacker was killed by the police officer, which set off a chain reaction of reactions from Boston Mayor Michelle Wu, from the Boston District Attorney, and from the Boston Police Chief.
My condolences and all of our thoughts are with the family of the individual whose life has been lost.
Our thoughts and prayers are with the family and friends of the individual who's been lost.
So our condolences go to the individual who was killed tonight.
Does the phrase misplaced priorities occur to any of these three dopes? Their thoughts and prayers are not with the people who were terrorized while trying to get a chicken sandwich and waffle fries. They are with the person who was killed, who fooled around and found out. Thankfully, there was a police officer there. You say, boy, you sound uncaring, Bruce. You sound unfeeling, this poor soul. Yeah, I hate the decisions, the life decisions that this person made. And I certainly hope they had their, I suppose it is possible that you could be saved and have a crazed moment of detachment from reality and imperil others. I suppose I'll allow for the possibility. I don't understand God's economy perfectly. But that is it's crazy to me that the mayor and the DA and the cop and the cops are like, and we really feel bad for the victim. Feel bad for the people. Will there be nightmares? Will there be psychological counseling needed? Is there any thought of any of that? No, of course not. Because in a democratic city, it's always about the victim and never about the victimized. The Oscars were last night. I'll admit, I was tempted, right? I love Gene Hackman movies. I don't love his politics, but I love Gene Hackman movies. Hackman died recently, mysteriously. Morgan Freeman was going to do a tribute to Gene Hackman. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to wait for the YouTube version of it so I don't have to watch a bunch of woke nonsense. And I spared myself the open with Julianne Hough saying this.
We gather in celebration of the Oscars on the ancestral lands of the Tongva, Tataviam, and Chumash peoples, the traditional caretakers of this water and land. We honor and pay our respects to indigenous communities here and around the world.
The land acknowledgement, the ever popular land acknowledgement. Now, never mind the fact that the Native American tribe that she was paying homage to took the land from some other Native American tribe, which you would know if you ever studied like authentic American history. But there's a part of me that just like, keep this up, okay? Just keep this up, Democrats. By the way, you're wondering, what did Reagan win? What was the documentary the Daily Wire did? Oh, Am I Racist? Am I Racist grossed $12 million. Was it nominated for anything? No, it was not. Was Reagan nominated for anything? No, it was not. Why was Am I Racist, starring Matt Walsh, not nominated for anything? It made $12 million. It was like the second most documentary ever seen in theaters. The award for best documentary went to a documentary that, like, I don't even think it grossed $500,000. Reagan, starring Dennis Quaid, did not receive any Oscar nominations either because, are you ready for this? The movie did not meet the Academy Awards DEI standards because they didn't insert in the story of Ronald Reagan a gay, two-spirit, non-binary character. Because we all know, like, you know, there were probably lots of them around when Ronald Reagan was president of the United States, right? But the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences has a requirement that you have to have diversity, equity, and inclusion in your movie. If you don't, you're ineligible for an Oscar. Staying in Hollywood for Today in Crazy headline number 3. California's overwhelmingly Democrat Assembly has a new bill that would modify the state's justifiable homicide laws. You know, here in Ohio, we have the stand your ground law. There's a thing called the Castle Doctrine, which is, you know, if you're in your house and somebody breaks in and you deem them to be a threat to you in the state of Ohio, you can give them, you know, a taste of 9mm lead for their trouble. The bill in California looks at the issue a little bit differently. It would eliminate circumstances under which homicide is justifiable, including, among other things, in defense of a habitation or property. In other words, if somebody breaks into your house in California, this law seeks to, quote, clarify circumstances in which homicide is not justifiable, including, among others, when a person uses more force than necessary to defend against danger. So somebody breaks into your house. Let's say they got a tire iron or a baseball bat, and you have your Glock 9mm, your Sig Sauer, your Smith & Wesson revolver, and you deem them, menacingly enough, in your home, uninvited, at 3 a.m, with a tire iron poised to whack you in the head, or a baseball bat, as a threat, and you shoot them, and they die. Well, they don't even have to die. You could be charged in California because, hey, just because he came in with a tire iron or a baseball bat didn't really prove that he had bad intentions. This is a legitimate law being proposed in California. Why anybody would live there is beyond me.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. The man accused of opening fire at an Independence Day parade in suburban Chicago has pleaded guilty to murder and attempted murder. That's moments ahead of opening arguments for his trial. Robert Pringle III withdrew his earlier not guilty plea to 117 felony counts in the shooting in 2022 that left 7 people dead. A power outage at Baltimore Washington International Airport is causing significant flight delays and other interruptions to air travel. More than 100 flights have been delayed, and a handful have been canceled. This outage was caused by a downed power line near the airport. And China preparing to levy tariffs on U.S. farm exports to offset similar moves planned by President Trump. This is SRN News.
3 years ago, I wrapped up a run of Annie playing Daddy Warbucks with the South Carolina Children's Theater. I was about 50 pounds overweight, tired, sick, fed up with the way I felt. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. I had to do something. I scheduled my weight loss consultation with PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition. And as they say, the rest is history. Just a few months, I lost over 50 pounds. I took control of my health. 3 years later, I've kept the weight off and I feel better than ever. If you are where I was, do what I did. PhD Weight Loss.
I'm just about out of memory, so we're going to end the
they won't let you fail.
end the live stream. Appreciate you guys joining us, and I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Schedule your weight loss consultation.